I am joined by the one and only Youngbuck ahead of his game versus Astralis. Crowd very energetic and excited. I'm going to make it very clear. Win and you have a shot at playoffs. Lose and you are eliminated. How does that make you and the team feel knowing how important this game is?
I think surprisingly we're not that nervous because it's now a feeling that if we don't win, we don't deserve it. And if we do win, then it's not in our hands anymore. So I think we'll be way more nervous later in the day if we have won, cheering for the right teams than we are right now.
Cheering for the right teams, I do like that, of course, because of the fact that the standings could end at 9-9, similar to Vitality and Fnatic. Your fate will be a little bit in the hands of some of the other teams. I want to quote something that I think Larson was saying on the desk yesterday, talking about how he perceived or interpreted XL's struggles this summer to maybe be a little bit of cockiness or ego, starting really strong, having a lot of hype behind the team. How would you describe the struggles that XL have faced the last few weeks?
I think we started struggling when the LEC break hit in with the break week. I think that we pushed ourselves really hard in the Korean bootcamp, and in the preseason we trained harder than the other teams. And as the meta shifted and we started to become a little bit more tired, I could tell from some of the players that they started to perform lesser than previously. Combining that with the meta changes, we were just a little bit slow to adapt, and that's a problem we kind of had in Spring Split as well, and it cost us a few games here and there by not having the right priorities.
I really appreciate the honesty. Youngbuck, I don't know how much of the broadcast you watch, but I have an alter ego named Quick Stats, whose information is like 100% pivotal, important all the time. You can hear Berlin chuckling a little because they know how valuable my stats are. When I look at win-loss for XL on blue side, 7 wins, 2 losses. When I look at red side, 1 win, 7 losses. That's not great. Who had side selection? What did you pick? And how will it help or hinder you today?
We had side selection. Okay. We picked blue side.
Okay, right. Berlin gets where I'm going with this. I think I just have one last question, as this is coming before the matchup. What is it that you want to see the boys do on the Rift today to take down Astralis, to give you that shot at your second playoffs ever?
I think the most important thing is that we play cleaner than we did yesterday, because even though we beat SK and we were still in the race for playoffs, everyone just felt bad because this is not a performance that a Worlds level team wants to, like a Worlds level team wouldn't perform like that. So I just want to see a much cleaner game and a game that gives us confidence going into playoffs if we do make it.
I'll tell you now, as the disappointed dad of the broadcast, it's not the expectation I had from XL either. So I'm hopeful for today. What I will say, one very last question. As we look ahead to Vitality Rogue and Misfits Fnatic, you're looking for a Vitality or Fnatic loss. Who is more likely to help XL today, Rogue or Misfits?
I think Rogue is more likely to help us, and I also kind of hope for that scenario. We had some banter with the Vitality boys in practice last week, so I would really like to knock them out.
Oh, I tell you what, if we get to that scenario, I'd love to hear what some of that banter was about. Maybe we'll have another interview later today. Youngbuck, thank you so much for taking the time. Berlin, Youngbuck, we're going to head back over to Law.